The multi-species training exercise was going well until the smallest Velcari cub decided Riley Thompson looked like a climbing tree. The cadets from 17 different species had gathered in the Academy's Recreation Center for mandatory integration activities. It was supposed to foster cooperation and understanding. Instead, it created the most awkward standoff anyone had witnessed in months. The cub, barely 2 feet tall, with silver scales and oversized amber eyes, had been watching Riley from across the room. While other cadets gave the predator younglings a respectful distance, Riley sat on the floor, assembling a puzzle, completely relaxed. That's when the cub made his move. He scampered across the room, chirping excitedly, and before anyone could react, he'd scaled Riley's back like a tree and perched on his shoulder. Tiny claws dug into the human's uniform for balance. Sharp teeth were inches from Riley's throat. The room went silent. A Plenian cadet dropped his datapad. 2 Thalaxians dove behind furniture. Even the Kryn warrior in training, who feared nothing, took 3 steps back. Human, the Velcari instructor hissed urgently, "Do not move. Remain absolutely still." Any sudden motion could trigger his hunting instincts. Riley glanced at the cub perched on his shoulder. The little predator chirped again and nuzzled against his neck, seeking warmth. Riley smiled. "Hey, buddy. Comfy up there." Cadet Thompson. The instructor's voice cracked with panic. "I said do not move. That cub could sever your jugular in one bite." "Yeah, but he won't," Riley said calmly, reaching up slowly. The entire room gasped as he gently scratched under the cub's chin. The tiny Velcari's eyes closed in contentment, and a low rumbling emanated from his chest. "Impossible," breathed the instructor. Riley shrugged carefully, mindful of his passenger. "My aunt has a pet cat back on Earth. Climbs on shotgut." A Corthan cadet ventured closer, fascinated. "What is a cat?" "Small predator. Retractable claws, sharp teeth, excellent hunter. We keep them in our homes as companions." Riley continued the chin scratches. "They're adorable." The Velcari instructor approached slowly, studying the interaction. The cub was completely relaxed, occasionally licking Riley's ear affectionately. "You're not afraid?" the instructor observed. "Why should I be?" Riley asked genuinely. "He's just a kid." "Yeah, he's got claws and teeth, but so do cats. So do dogs. Humans have been living with small predators for thousands of years. You just need to understand their body language." The cub shifted position, draping himself around Riley's neck like a scaly scarf. His tail wrapped loosely around Riley's arm. "See? If he wanted to hurt me, his claws would be extended, his pupils would be dilated, and he'd be tensed up. But he's loose, purring, eyes half closed. That's contentment, not aggression." Other cadets slowly gathered around, curiosity overcoming fear. The cub opened one eye, assessed the crowd, then went back to napping on Riley's shoulder. "On Earth," Riley explained, standing up carefully, "we learned that size doesn't determine danger. Some of our smallest creatures are the most venomous. But we also learned that most predators aren't constantly hunting. They're just living. This little guy isn't a weapon. He's a child who wanted attention." A brave Thalaxian cadet reached out tentatively. The cub sniffed her hand, then allowed a gentle pat on his head. "Humans are strange," the Velcari instructor muttered, but there was respect in his tone. "You treat apex predators like pets." "We don't just treat them like pets," Riley corrected, the cub now dozing peacefully on his shoulder. "We make them family. There's a difference. Family means mutual trust, mutual respect. This guy trusts me because I'm not treating him like a threat. I'm treating him like what he is, a kid who wants to feel safe." The cub's mother arrived 20 minutes later, panic-stricken and ready to apologize for her offspring's behavior. She stopped short when she saw her youngest child curled up on the human's shoulder, fast asleep. "He's never done that with anyone outside our clan," she whispered in amazement. Riley carefully transferred the sleeping cub to his mother's arms. The little one whimpered in protest, but settled quickly. "He's sweet," Riley said simply. "You should bring him by the rec center more often." I think the other cadets are starting to understand that predators can be friends, not just threats. As the mother carried her cub away, the Velcari instructor updated his notes on human behavior. Species demonstrates inexplicable comfort with juvenile predators. Appears to naturally understand nonverbal communication across species barriers. Recommend for diplomatic youth programs. Possibly insane, but effective. Riley went back to his puzzle, unaware he'd just revolutionized interspecies relations. Or that 3 more cubs would seek him out the very next day, all wanting shoulder rides.